Hey, Colby.
Yeah, Barry?
Do you know what kind of woman I need in my life?
No.
A 250-pound one with a little hair on her chin, so I have something to grab onto.
Oh, dwarfs.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another month of the Who Watches This podcast.
Yes. The best of underrated movies.
Right. And underappreciated, right?
Yep.
All one and the same. Honestly, Kobe, I don't know why this took us so long to do this thing.
Right. This seems like a natural.
It's like it should have been like one of the first months. Because this is right up our alley.
Yeah.
You being a former comic book store owner.
And nerd.
Me just being a full-blown nerd. If you guys haven't guessed what the theme of the month is from that delicious quote, that's what I'm going to say things now. Things are delicious.
It's a spicy quote.
We are doing Fantasy Month.
Yes. And we're starting it with
Dungeons and Dragons, released in 2000.
the classic game that of nerd culture made into
A
this
full-blown movie, right? Yeah, so like before we get into the plot of the movie, just a little background. Courtney Solomon, I believe was his name, the director. Let's see. Let me make sure. Courtney.
Courtney Solomon.
Oh, Courtney Solomon, right? The director. When he was 18, he got approved from TSR, who owns the D&D property.
Right.
And grinded for 9 long years to get the $45 million budget to make this movie.
Right. And it was owned by Wizards of the Coast by the time he finally did it.
Right? You know, thankfully they respected that he had gotten the intellectual property to make this into a movie.
Yes.
And you know, no matter what you say about this movie, this guy was 18 years old when he set out to do this. And he did it.
Yeah. Right. I didn't have any ambitions like that at 18.
I mean, it also helps that his mother was heavily tied into the Canadian film industry. So he got to know the ins and outs. So, you know, but hey, he did it. He got there. He hustled hard.
Yeah, he did.
But Colby, you growing up, so in this generation for D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the show Stranger Things is just your life without the underground thing.
Exactly. Yes, because I was elementary school.
Yeah.
Playing this, so it was probably 4th and 5th grade when I first found this game, the love of Dungeons and Dragons. I remember when it went from Dungeons and Dragons to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then most of the books that I got were like 2nd edition.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any like real original stuff, but it was like once it went to 2nd edition, I was like playing this pretty steady and picking up those books at the local Walden's Books.
But yeah, like Kobe, for like this was your video game for your generation, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the people who grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons were picked on, but like they're the coolest people because they're the reasons why we have video games.
We were the coolest people. Right? We were so not cool.
Yeah, you're like during that time where jocks and cheerleader type of things reigned supreme.
Right.
But who won in the end? Really,
yeah.
Right. Because I mean, everyone that came from Dungeons and Dragons went on to, I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but they were inspired by this game to make video games, make trading card games, board games, and all.
Open a comic book store. That would close, then reopen, and then close again.
Yeah, but you lived the dream.
It was the greatest job ever. If only it paid me.
Right? Because they say if you do something you love, you're still working, but you love it.
I did it for twice. 5 to 6 years a piece. Right. So basically, I worked for 11 years, 80 hours a week for no pay, and it was fantastic. And never did I have a day where I didn't want to go to work.
Right. And so, I just hope you guys know where we're coming from all the fantasy stuff that we're going to be doing this month. We all love like these type of movies just because we see ourselves in them.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, let's get into the movie. The movie stars Marlon Wayans of everything that you probably grew up with.
Right. We could definitely do a whole Marlon Wayans season.
Oh,
because he is in a lot of stuff.
We also have Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Lane. And the next big person is Jeremy Irons.
Right.
And man, he is amazing in this movie. Because I feel like they just told him, hey, Jeremy, leave all that thespian stuff back where you're from.
Right.
I need you to play this over the top, just right below Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Like, I was like, if they redid this, they'd have to make that like William Dafoe.
Oh, that would be so good.
Like, that's how I felt he played this. Yeah, because like I didn't even look at see what the budget or anything on this movie was.
$45 million.
But that's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like this was like a Sci-Fi Channel kind of movie. Like
today's standards.
Today's standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he gave it 100% for being a fantasy movie. And sometimes you get a movie like that, and you get your big names kind of come in and they just
half-ass it.
Yeah, they phone it in because they're like, I don't really need to be in this movie, but.
Well, I'm not doing anything.
100% he threw into this movie.
And I loved every moment of it because I don't see this being played any differently. Like, if you try to put in, I love Ian McKellen. Is that his name? Gandalf?
Yeah.
I love Gandalf. I love Patrick Stewart.
Right.
But they would play this role, I think, a little too seriously, and it wouldn't have been as memorable to me.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's get into the movie. Movie's an hour 45 minutes long, but I'm going to generalize a lot of the stuff that's happening, right? So we do start off with, I believe, Jeremy Irons. He is creating some sort of staff.
Right.
And at this point, we don't really know what's happening. We go into another scene where a young empress is talking to the Mage Senate.
Yes, yeah.
Right, and they're trying to quell all these conflicts that they're having, but they feel like she's too young to be.
She is the Padme.
She is the Padme. Yes, I do want to say there are similarities between this and Phantom Menace, but this was made earlier than Phantom Menace.
Yes. Yep.
Right. But then we meet our two heroes. It's Jimmy Olsen and Marlon Wayans, aka Snails. Which is like the worst thief name.
So, like, at the end of the movie, I thought, I totally remember Snails. I will never forget that's his name. And there was the guy who played Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have any idea what his name was in this.
I think it was like Ashley or something. He hams it up real hard.
He does.
In this movie. There's some parts where like, man, you have an award. I know it's for a PBS
and he
show,
like starts it slow. Like at the beginning, it's all like it's all Wayans,
right?
And you're like, and his white friend, and then later on, like Jimmy Olsen gets into the role and he starts
he hams it up pretty hard. But I wasn't like it's not like I was super negative on Jimmy Olsen playing this role. I think he was a likable guy,
and he was getting pretty big at that time.
Yeah, because he had that '90s haircut.
Oh yeah,
right. That one just slayed Poon in the '90s.
And he definitely he had an infectious smile with lots of dimples.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that smile would kill.
Yeah, I could see young ladies having like that poster up in their room.
Right, he's just a brunette Leo.
Yeah.
No, and so we get the impression from these two that they are not a huge fan of mages, and it's because in this world, humans that don't have magic power are basically slaves.
Yeah, at least second-class citizens.
Right, and so they have felt the I don't know, the classism towards them, because in their kingdom, they're second-class citizens. I was like, second-hand citizens. Like, we don't want these people anymore.
They've been used.
Right. And so the Empress in the beginning of the movie is fighting to make all citizens equal.
Right.
But no, so those two, they decide they want to rob the castle while there's a celebration going on.
Yeah.
Because they feel like the mages school will have nobody in them.
Right.
But at this point,
and if you're a thief and you steal magical items,
now you're a magical
if you
thief.
have ever played Dungeons and Dragons and you are a non-magical creature and you steal magical items, that's where you're getting all your money.
Right.
That is gold pieces galore.
Right. Colby will be the resident of D&D class, because I've only played one session, so I don't know all the ins and outs.
Okay.
Right. But no, and so during this point, Jeremy Irons has been scheming with his Dark Knight Damodar.
Yep.
Who looks like he's just been eating nothing but raspberry cotton candy.
I didn't get the blue lips, but whatever.
Maybe he was supposed to be like a dark elf or something, but he didn't have the ears, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
A frost titan. He was a frost titan. But no, so they've been trying to find a way to slay the dragons that the Empress has, right? And so they figure it out, but he needs more juice. He needs this staff that he had created to be legit.
Right. Oh yeah, because when the Empress is talking to the council, they make reference to that the staff that she has controls the golden dragons of the realm, and that's how she can
control. Just she's like a
maintain power.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, if she wants everybody to be equal, then she shouldn't have the power to control the dragons.
Yeah. But so at this point, everyone is setting their schemes into gears. I don't know if that's a phrase. But at this point, they do. The Empress and her main mage have a map to find a way to find the other staff, so that way she can control fully.
Well, because the other staff controls red dragons, which are even more powerful than gold dragons.
Right. Yeah, I mean, man, when we get to the fight later, they just gang on these golden dragons. No, and so they're trying to decipher this map, but they can't. During this time, Marlon Wayans and Jimmy Olsen sneak into the mage school and are just trying to find magical items to steal.
Right.
And I have to say that for a thief, Marlon Wayans is not very sneaky at all.
He is a bumbling fool.
Which, you know what, I wasn't too mad about, because at least it wasn't as obnoxious as Chris Tucker in The Fifth Element.
Right? Okay, yes.
Because for the time, that was like Marlon Wayans' style of acting, you know? So it's pretty funny. Like, they pick up like these dragon bones, and a dragon spirit comes out of, and he's like yelling all over the place.
Yeah.
Which gets them caught by a young wizard or sorceress or witch. I don't.
Right, like in a mage apprentice, I guess.
Yeah, and so this portion is pretty cool, because then they do some spells that are actually in D&D, correct?
Yeah.
Right, which is cool. But during that time, while she constrains the two thieves, Jimmy Olsen and Marlon Wayans, she hears in the main chambers her master
Yep.
yelling, and he is being slain by Damodar for the map.
Right.
But he tosses
the Dumbledore. The Dumbledore of
Damodar, I think his name.
Well,
the Dumbledore of the school.
Yeah, because he's like the principal of the school.
Yeah.
And he looks and sounds like Dumbledore. It's not the same actor, but
yes, it's not Ian McKellen. No, but he tosses the map to his apprentice, and they escape via a teleportal or a portal.
Portal, yep.
Right. For some reason, she doesn't close it as soon as Marlon Wayans and Jimmy Olsen are right through. They slide. They run into a dwarf.
Yes.
Who is hilarious in this movie, and Damodar knocks off his helmet. He goes into berserk mode because I guess he doesn't like to see people. I guess he doesn't want people to know that he's bald.
And it doesn't really say, but it's funny. And he's only got one little tuft of hair under his helmet. So yeah, it's probably the bald thing.
Right. But no, like he fights Damodar real quick, but he knows he's outclassed. And so they escaped into the sewers.
Yes.
Gross.
Right.
Never.
It's another Star Wars reference there. They jump into the trash compactor.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Especially in medieval times. Gross.
Didn't even think about it like that. That's a yuck.
Yeah. But the next day, they're all cleaned up somehow, and they're trying to figure things out. They go into a tavern. Jimmy Olsen sees the map, and just all of a sudden, by luck, knows like, oh, that looks like one of the maps my dad used to mess with.
Yep.
And he places his hands on the map, says something, and then him and the wizard get sucked into the map.
Right. Yep.
We don't really get to see this portion because they said it was budgetary reasons that they really couldn't show the wraith that they spoke to in the map, right? But at this time, Damodar has tracked down Marlon Wayans the dwarf, and so the dwarf starts a bar fight.
Right.
And they make their way out.
Well, Snails hits on a
sexy elf.
Sexy elf.
Right. Oh yeah, because he's like, yeah. Are you looking for somebody? Is there someone you're looking for, or are you just looking for somebody? Oh, classic '90s pickup lines.
Yep.
But no, they all escape together, and Marlon Wayans somehow is able to figure out how to get the two out of the map by bowing down and saying bidet, bidet, bidet. Yeah, they're like probably just told Marlon Wayans like, hey, just say something.
Right. Yep.
But they get out, they figure out that they need to get an eye of a dragon.
Yeah.
And it is in the heart of a thieves guild. And so they make their way into the thieves guild. They run in
because they turn out that they're not just bumbling thieves, but they are lifelong thieves from, thieves' world, and so they are very familiar with thief customs and traditions, and they are very familiar with at least a thieves guild, and they assume that this thieves guild is similar to the one that they came from.
Yeah. So when they make their way into the thieves guild, they run into, I don't know what this creature is, but it has like a third eye, and it kind of looks like ooze.
The beholder, the eye of the beholder.
No, the beholder comes later when they go get the map back.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But
yes, you're right.
I don't know what this creature is, but they make their way into the
the purpley guy.
Yeah, the purple guy that looks like Mr.
I don't know what
guy.
that is, but they, in trying to find them, they pass by some very cool looking orcs.
Oh yeah,
in armor. That was yes.
But yeah, they make their way into the thieves guild. Tell the guild master like, hey, I need this to stop the end of the world.
Right.
And he's like, well, it's in the middle of this the maze thing, and if you want it, you gotta go get it.
Right.
And interesting fact, the design for this was designed by the same person who did Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Interesting.
That's why there's some similarities, like when he puts his hand to the light and the trap sets off, and then when he gets to the eye of the dragon, it's almost shot for shot. This was supposed to be a homage, but this was shot for shot.
Yeah.
But no, Jimmy Olsen expertly makes his way through this.
Yes, he does.
You know, he gets on the pendulums,
and that's really kind of like the first time where you're like, wow, he is skilled.
Yeah,
he's a skilled thief. He's not just.
Well, I would say he's more of a rogue class.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like Marlon Wayans, Snails, is a thief, and he kind of fits more of like the swashbuckler type of rogue.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Right? But yeah, he makes his way through the pendulums of death by getting on top of them. He makes his way through the eye fires. That's also similar to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
And he figures out that he has to stop the hourglass to stop the trap from coming down, and he gets the eye. When he makes it out, the guild master is like, all right, now give it back.
Right.
Because he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then that's when you realize that the guild master basically, this maze was already set up and he couldn't make it through. So he just pretends to be the leader so somebody will go through and then steal it for him.
Right. But we find out if we had a sponsor, we could talk about keeps, but we don't. But no, this is where they have a fight because, you know, obviously the guildmaster wants the eye of the dragon, Damodar wants the map, and so a whole fight breaks out. Marlon Wayans runs away. You know, he's a thief. He has like pretty low HP, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Olsen makes his way. He's trying to make his way to the wizard, but she gets caught by Damodar. Funny thing in this scene, he's supposed to step on the map, but he just steps near it. Did you notice that?
I did notice that as well. Yes.
And Damodar escapes with the wizard, while the dwarf, the Jimmy Olsen, and Marlon Wayans have to escape as well in the other direction with the elf. Oh no, the elf gets them out. Or something, or no, the elf catches them as they're escaping.
Yes, yeah.
And so this is where the elf, she checks in back with the Empress, and she's like, what should I do? The Empress says, well, you have to get the map and get the apprentice. So they make their way to the stronghold of Damodar, and Jimmy Olsen and Marlon Wayans decide to split up.
Right.
And of course, in very clear foreshadowing, Jimmy Olsen's like, be safe, bro. and Marlon's like, yeah, you too. But we know what's gonna happen.
And we get the classic joke of, I'm gonna go get the girl, you go get the map. Why you always get the girl?
Right? You know, come on, man. I want to get the girl sometimes. Give me a chance. No, but so Jimmy Olsen gets the girl. She looks like she's been traumatized because the night previously, Damodar tentacled her memory.
Yes.
Gross. Oh yeah, just to let you know, Damodar got tentacled by Jeremy Irons to make sure that he does his job well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is from D&D, but he is like basically implanted with maybe we're going Star Trek, Wrath of Khan, and he gets the thing in his ear.
Yeah. That
controls him.
Oh, maybe.
But this is more technically than that. But yeah.
But yeah, in this stronghold we do see a beholder, and it's sleeping on the job.
It is.
You know, I was watching somebody talk about this movie, and they said, I don't know what it is about beholders, but they're always sleeping on the job. And then they showed another clip from Futurama where the beholder was a bureaucrat. No, and so yeah, as Jimmy Olsen escapes with the young wizard, Marlon Wayans gets caught up in a sand trap and then pulled out by Damodar, and then we get a pretty. It was supposed to be a lot more emotional. I mean, it still got me there because I love Marlon Wayans as an actor.
Right.
But Marlon Wayans, this is like the best acting he did for the movie. Like, he wasn't obnoxious.
Right. The rest of it, he's kind of strictly like the funny sidekick.
Yeah. But this one, he's like, he kind of feels like there's no way out for me, so I'm gonna have to fight.
Yeah.
Try to fight my way out, and this is where he does get stabbed by Damodar. Not before he throws the map towards Jimmy Olsen. And as he gets stabbed, Jimmy Olsen does a very dramatic no.
Yep.
But he gets stabbed by Damodar with his own sword, and what's it called? Wizard Girl does do some magic,
right,
and escapes to another portal. They get taken to the elf village, and he gets healed by like the oldest elf there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like the oldest, but
and this is another one of those ones. This came out first, and then Lord of the Rings totally stole this elf village, because this was a very cool elf village in a tree,
right? Yeah,
and then Lord of the Rings tried to steal it. I think this movie did it better.
Oh man, but no, this is where we get like a little bit of a rundown of the world. The old elf does say that like magic, dragons they live from magic, and so do we.
Yep.
And the elf is like, you saw something, and then Jimmy Olsen does say like, oh, I dreamt about a dragon being born, and so it was supposed to be like some sort of prophecy that something great was coming.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? But at this point, Jimmy Olsen is pretty upset because his best friend died. And so he's reignited his hatred for mages.
Yes.
But all of a sudden they kiss. I don't know. And then like a little imp is watching. I don't know what those things are called.
Yeah, just an imp.
Right, it's just an imp, right? But the morning after they stitch up Jimmy Olsen, he's all good. He gets a new elfin sword.
Yes.
Super clean, super cool.
Very shiny.
And he makes his way to the dragon cave that they see on the map.
Yep.
They figure out that he's the only person that can go through because he's the one that's holding the eye of the dragon. He gets in there. He's thinking about stealing stuff, but he's like, "Oh no, I have a mission at hand." So
sorry, snails.
But he gets this comically looking dragon staff, right? I was like, that looks like a Toys R Us toy.
Yes.
But before he grabs it, the person who made it warns him, like, hey, this can fuck up everything.
Right. Gives him the skeleton prophecy.
Right. I thought it was a lich. I was like, oh, I don't know how he's going to get out of that one. No, but he ends up picking it up, but he feels a surge of power flow through him, almost enough to consume him.
Right. Yeah, because his face looks like, is he turning evil?
Right. It's like the face you make the first time you grab a boob.
It is smirky.
Right.
Yeah.
It is smirky. But he sees a mural that red dragons are just raining fire down to cities.
Yes.
And so Jimmy Olsen makes it out, but he sees that Damodar has captured his party, and Damodar has demanded the staff in exchange for the life of his beloved wizard.
Yep.
And the rest of the party. So he does throw down he throws down the staff. Damodar grabs it, immediately goes back on their deal, and he tells his plan. He tells his party, kill them slowly. But this level 7 archer, super awesome, elfin archer. She carries this party on her back for the most part. I think she's the one that initiates the battle that frees them and allows them to escape. Correct?
Right. Yep.
But Jimmy Olsen follows Damodar through the portal and is now at the epicenter of the civil war between the Empress and the Mage School.
Yes.
And this is where we see that the Golden Dragons and the Empress has now said that I will take you guys down because I feel like you guys are corrupt.
Right, yeah, because Jeremy Irons is convinced, or Emperor Palpatine, has convinced half of the Senate to go against her, and that's technically enough to make them be able to demand her release her dragon staff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, I'm the Empress, and this is my power, and I'm doing what I believe is the correct thing. And so then the other half is like, yeah, go Empress. And then, yes, Civil War breaks out.
Yeah. Damodar does give the red dragon staff to Jeremy Irons. He becomes free of his parasite,
Yes.
I believe. And Jeremy Irons goes to the top of the roof and summons all the red dragons, while Jimmy Olsen is having a pretty decent fight with Damodar.
Yeah.
This is where the Star Wars stuff really clashes in, because at this point, Jimmy Olsen and Damodar have crossed swords before, but at this point in time, they didn't show anything magical happening. Now their swords light up a little bit.
Not enough to get sued, but
Not enough
a
to get
little.
sued, right? But Jimmy Olsen finally.
But it is a new elfie sword, so.
All right, maybe it's siphoning off the magic that Jimmy Olsen doesn't know he has.
Yes,
and that's why.
Right, because he ends up doing enough magical stuff that you halfway expect at some point to be like, did you know that your father was actually a maze or a mage? A maze? What?
He was a labyrinth. No, yeah, because like I feel like if you didn't have an ounce of magic, the red dragon staff wouldn't have reacted to you, right?
Right.
And so yeah, Jimmy Olsen does end up besting Damodar in a battle, and as he goes to fight Jeremy Irons puts him down, because you know what's a level 13 rogue to a 15 wizard.
Yes.
But the team gets in on it, but they immediately get squashed until the Empress comes.
Oh yeah.
But she automatically gets attacked by some sort of summoned spirit spell.
Right.
And then Jeremy Irons gets bitten off by a golden dragon. Kind of like I was kind of sad because it felt like anticlimactic.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't like this huge battle of mages, but
right,
just one dragon.
Yeah, and it's. I feel like maybe budgetarily, like now, if this movie was now, the Empress on Gold Dragon, Jeremy Irons on Red Dragon, epic.
Oh, epic aerial battle.
Aerial battle.
Oh, that would have been dope. Like fire breathing and lightning shooting from each other.
Yeah.
Dope.
Or the Empress gets hurt and she's like, Jimmy Olsen, you must ride my golden dragon to victory, and then have it that way.
Right.
But yeah.
No. So what happens is like, Jimmy Olsen does get a hold of the red dragon staff and smashes it, and when that happens, that's when Jeremy Irons gets eaten by a golden dragon. The red dragons disappear, and the gold dragons go back to their stable.
Yeah.
I don't know if dragons have stables. I feel like they do.
Right. They've like, we've done our work. We were going home.
Right. And so at this point in the movie, we're getting to the end of the movie, but Jimmy Olsen has set up a gravestone for his best friend Snails.
Yep.
And right next to that, he puts the eye of the dragon there, which I was like, dude, you can't just leave that lying around.
Right.
Yeah. Someone's going to steal it.
That's your money.
Right. But as he lays it there, the etching of his friend's name, Snails, starts to wither away. And the eye of the dragon starts to glow. They all put their hands on it, and they are whisked away into another adventure.
Yes.
End of the movie. Courtney Solomon. Colby, is there any key parts you want to talk about this movie?
So kind of just generally, I felt like this movie ran much more like a D&D adventure than a typical movie would.
Yeah.
And I feel that's part of the the very low Rotten Tomatoes score that this movie received.
Well, like, you know, a new trivia fact is this was actually a campaign that Courtney Solomon had created when he was younger.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel to have rectified that, maybe if you started the movie with a D&D campaign board and then like the Stranger Things kids, they're playing, and then you see them play like
Jumanji.
Well, not them go in, but that you see that those are their characters, and it would have made it more. That's why some of those characters act the way they do, is because they're, you know, actually like 12-year-old kids, and their 15-year-old brother playing this, somewhere, and this is just how they see their adventure going.
Right. No, yeah, I definitely see that. I know that, like, in an interview, Courtney Solomon said that he didn't want to use a pre-existing D&D campaign because he feels like if he had done that, people would have been more upset if they hadn't included key parts. Right. Like, if they had done, I don't know what, during that time, I think Pathfinder or something like that.
Yes.
They're like, where's this character? He's super important.
Right.
So I think that's why he went the route that he did. He wanted to use a homemade.
No, and I love that. And like I said, I would have loved to go on this adventure as a character. Like, I would have loved to see this campaign.
Right.
This would have been super cool.
Super fun. I like the world building. When I saw the runtime, I was like, man, this movie's an hour and 45 minutes, but I feel like the flow for the movie, it flowed really well.
Yeah.
There wasn't any dull moments. There wasn't any moments where you're like, why is that scene in here? You know, there's no casino moments. And if you're Star Wars fans, you know what I'm talking about. Right? There wasn't any moments like that. It just felt like a straight-on campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any, like, key moments that, like, really stuck out to you, though?
I don't know. It was good, and like I said, if you look at it just as like this is a fantasy movie, there seems to be holes and there seems to be gaps. But if you look at it as like, this is an adventure, and they're like, why did that happen? And you're like, well, because he rolled like a 6 instead of an 18 on his D20, so that's why it happened. And like, why did Wayne's brother all of a sudden? Why did Snail start hitting on that elf? Just like, why? Because, you know, a 13-year-old kid is playing that part, and of course you're like, hey, sexy elf walks in, he's like, oh, I'm going downstairs and hitting on her. You know, like, it just it seemed like that. And when you said that he made his own adventure, like, it brings that together. It makes me enjoy this movie even more. Yeah.
I think the only reason that they might have not gone the route of showing people playing and, like, like teenagers being these roles is because it might have felt a little bit too close to, like, Never Ending Story. You know, as they're telling the story and all that stuff.
Yeah, I guess you could.
But I feel like there's a long enough gap that they could have just done that, though, because Never Ending Story was like 85,
right?
Something like that. So, yeah, I think that would have been a good way to explain gaps in logic,
right?
Right.
But I loved the amount of characters in the background, like you saw the orcs and you saw like different things in the background as they're like walking through that that didn't need to be there, but they added a little bit to the movie. It was kind of like, I hate to like reference other things, but like, you know, you get like a Star Trek or a Star Wars and they walk through the cantina, and even though they never introduce any of those other characters, they're not all just humans.
Yeah. You definitely appreciate the attention to detail that Courtney Solomon put into this.
Yeah.
Right? Just because, like, when he puts things that are, like, obviously going to push the budget a little bit, it's because, he really cares about this project. I mean, he already worked 9 years procuring the budget for it.
Right.
And he was like, you know what? I'm good. This is going to be my love letter to my childhood. And to everybody's childhood, right? Especially for, like, your time, this was your video game. This is how you got to imagine all this stuff. And I think that's great. So Kobe, if you were in this world, what would be your race and what would be your class?
I played a bunch of different things, but I typically like to play a character that is just big and brooding. Like I usually played like a half orc, or I would play I didn't want to be like the shiny paladin knight. I'd much rather be like the guy with a club. Or like a warhammer, like that kind of character. Then
also is that
so I don't know. I guess in this I would probably most probably have related to the dwarf.
The dwarf was, for I know Marlon Wayans is supposed to be like the comedic person in here.
Yeah.
But the dwarf really had some good lines. Like one of my favorite ones probably has to be when he's on the horse and he's like, really? You're going to make me you go on a horse? You know how dwarves hate horses? Dwarves typically don't show their emotions, but I don't care. I'm scared. It was gold to me. I was like, I really love these lines because you could really picture it being said around a tabletop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or especially during the scene where the dwarf first confronts Damodar, and he sweeps the leg. Right?
Yes.
And so I could just imagine the dungeon master is like, all right, if you want to do that, you got to roll for it. He's like, would you get? How the fuck did he get a 20?
Oh, right.
That is a nat 20. Sweep the leg.
You're a
dwarf.
level 6 and he's a level 12. There's no way you're going to beat him. Why would you even attack him? I'm going to attack him anyway. 20. Yes, sweep the leg. I was like, oh, damn it.
Right? He tells the dungeon master, he's like, hey, look, man. I already put it in my character sheet that if someone knocks off my helmet, I just go berserker mode.
Yes.
I see red. Oh yeah, Kobe. I would definitely love to play this campaign. I would. The only campaign I did play in, I was a tiefling warlock.
Okay.
Only because I was like, I want to be a Loki type of character.
Yep.
And I think I'd want to play a dragonborn because I get to breathe like fire and stuff.
Right. And it's like the perfect character mix of you've got your kind of your berserker dwarf, you've got your mage, you've got your archer elf, you've got like you said, we have thief. It's supposed to be 2 thieves, but like you said, he's got like this, like the rogue class.
Yeah, right. And he felt like more like a rogue to me.
Yeah, so that way you split it off, and it's not just 2 thieves. You got your thief and your rogue.
I mean, he could subclass in thievery.
Right.
I mean, those 2 classes are pretty close.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the girl, she's an apprentice, so she's just a magic user and not a wizard yet.
I know, right? But you really gotta hope she has what's it called, thunderbolt or lightning bolt? What's like
magic missile?
Magic missile. There you go. that cantrip.
Yep.
Oh man, but yeah, I feel and right now D&D is bigger than it has ever been, right?
I think so.
I mean, because Kobe, not to pick on you or anything, but when you're playing D&D when you're younger, were you able to get any girls to come to play?
I was not.
and
it was not, I did not go to school and like say, hey guys, I've been playing D&D. It is no. It was like, hey, I got my nerd friends and we're gonna go home and play D&D, and then we're gonna go back to school and tell people we played 2-hand touch football.
Pong. But Kobe, you're like an athlete too, so like everyone's gonna be like, Kobe plays D&D.
Well, yeah,
Freaking nerd,
right?
But D&D at this moment in time has exploded into the pop culture atmosphere, right? Mainly thanks to properties like Stranger Things and the sorts. And now there's everyone has a YouTube channel. They've been able to. A lot of these voice actors have acted in or played D&D, so it makes it much more enjoyable. It's much more acceptable now more than before. Remember the blonde girl from Daredevil?
Mm-hmm.
She plays D&D.
Yep.
And I remember I was watching an interview with her. She was talking about how she's like, yeah, me and my brother and his friends would play. And I was just like, oh, I feel really bad for her. I could already hear the mouth breathing. But I'm really glad that all these girls that used to play, like that are our age, that used to play, that never talked about it, can now openly just be like, I'm a nerd.
Right.
Kobe, would you? I know, I can't be the only one. Would you want to see the sequel that they had set up for?
I would have loved to have a sequel, and I know that, like you had kind of pointed out, there is sequels that are D&D movies, but they are not like direct sequels off this. And certainly the way it ends, anybody who plays D&D, in the final battle, when your friend dies, sure, you go and you get a cleric or you get some magic spell and you get them resurrected for the next adventure. Mm-hmm. And that's not really a part of this adventure. You're just like, well, no, the adventure's over because we killed the big boss.
Yeah.
Now, we'll just resurrect snails, and we'll get ready and we'll get experience points and level up, and then we'll get ready, for next Thursday when we stop by for the beginning of the next adventure.
Yeah. But this one sets up. I feel like the setup would have been really sweet because at this moment in time, snails might have been in the underworld, and
that could have been
right.
Go rescue him.
And I'm sad that this doesn't. Maybe if this came out around 2015, we might have gotten a web series of them, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Escape from the underworld. So cool.
The one thing that I wish is that they had a little bit more practical effect. Because like when they showed the aerial battle of the dragons, not bad. But there's a couple where they have like face to face with the dragon, and that special effect is poor even for that time period. I'm like, it is like Mortal Kombat Annihilation style computer animation.
Yeah.
Where if they could have like practical effect a like dragon head and a foot, mm-hmm. and you could just see that through the like the window of the castle, or under the bridge or whatever. They could have
scaled it later.
Yeah. And then computer animate the air battle, because that wasn't too bad, and you're not super detailed on dragons because there's 12 of them in the air and they're far away.
Yeah.
But when you do like close up on the face, it was like, that is very added in green screen later kind of computer.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I mean, but for a budget that was like $45 million. Also, Courtney, I saw like Courtney Solomon had to do a lot of the editing and post by himself, or something like that. So I can understand. I once you delve deeper into the production, you can understand why some things are how they are. I'm just happy it came out.
Right.
I
did see this in the theater when it came out.
Colby contributed to that $38.5 million buyback, or I don't know what to call it.
And I didn't appreciate it as much then. I think probably I even liked bad movies back then. So I know I came out of this enjoying this movie, but it wasn't like a movie where I was like telling my friends, "You gotta go see. This is like Marvel Civil War. This is so good. You gotta go see it." It was like, it was a good fantasy movie.
You didn't even call your old party up like, "Hey guys, I know we haven't spoken in 12 years, but you gotta watch this D&D movie."
Right.
But yeah, also like the thing that that we were talking about before we started recording is just how much we love Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
In this movie. I know we talked about it in the earlier in the episode, but I just have to reiterate Jeremy Irons in this role, perfect.
Yeah.
And I like Damodar. He was a pretty good villain throughout the movie.
Right.
The only thing that really bothered me though were some of his lines. Like when he catches up to Snails in the stronghold, and he's trapped in that oatmeal sand pit thing. He's like, "Just like a thief stealing," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, he's a thief. That's what they do." And he constantly was over pronunciating his lines, and I was like, "What is he doing?"
But again, you got to think that's your 15-year-old brother DMing this adventure.
Oh yeah.
And so he's like not super quirky or quippy.
Yeah.
So like he's trying to make these guys tough and but yeah, the lines are coming out of your 15-year-old brother's mouth, and so he's like a thief stealing.
Yeah, but I was like, if I was, it was like, yeah, that's what I do. Like, what about you? Oh, like a knight swinging your sword.
And there was a couple times in here where like you had pointed out like the map, and Damodar comes over and steps on the map, but doesn't really step on it. He misses it.
Oh,
and then and so it's like she could just grab it.
Right.
His foot's not really on it. And then there's another part like after the quicksand thing where you can tell how many times or where they did like reshoots or shot things, because like sometimes Wayne's Snail's pants are dirty.
Yeah.
Sometimes like his whole entire body is dirty from sand. Sometimes it's like up to his like boobs. Like it's like weird. Like it's like,
oh, like
he
cuts.
starts to dry, and then they're like, okay, now let's go outside, and like the sun hits him, and it's like that's a totally different part of his body that's covered in sand than was inside. It's just like odd. And then then like the big fight, he's completely covered in sand again.
Yeah, he was like, Courtney was just like, "Hey man, I don't have time." Like, and I don't think Marlon Wayans is gonna want to come back for reshoots.
Right. He's like, "Hey Marlon, you want to come back in and jump in the sand again?" And he's like, "I'll go waist deep, but I'm not getting that in my hair again." And he's like, "Okay, waist deep it is, and we'll just have you walk around the castle."
Right. Also, the one thing I gotta say, I know we're coming really close to our hour, but one thing I gotta say is the locations that they shot. These were all shot in Prague, and just super beautiful locations.
Definitely.
Like, because you can tell when a set is built versus when it's just like a real location.
That's true. I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, the set on everything is great in this.
Yeah, it's because a lot of the sets that they actually shot in, they were the first time being filmed there. Like the head council's chambers, the first time anyone's ever filmed in there, and it's just super beautiful. So yeah, I think a lot of people, I know, like on Rotten Tomatoes and on IMDb, this has really low scores, but man, I don't think they're accounting for, I think, the love and care that came to making this passion project.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Like now that you explained that it was like actually his campaign and stuff, it makes so much more sense. It's like that's exactly. Watch this movie as like your friend is telling you about their D&D adventure.
and it'll just immerse you in
Yeah.
so much more than before. But yeah, we're getting to close to our hour. So if this is the first time you guys are joining us, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the episode. But just to let you know, this is how we rate our movies in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
If we throw like all the 2005, the 2012, all the D&D movies into an Ultimate Box Collection, I would definitely jump on that. I would love this to be Blu-ray and have them clean up the close-up on the dragons a little, kind of
remastered the dragon battle.
Yeah. That would
magnifique.
100% put me into Blu-ray.
Right.
As is, probably just gonna go DVD. I'm D&D.
I think for me, even if they did it remaster, I think I would love it in Blu-ray, just because I feel like, even though I heard there was a lot of footage left on the cutting room floor. There's a lot. I heard there was a lot of deleted scenes that they couldn't fit in. I would love to watch just even the unedited versions of these scenes.
That might be enough for me to go up into Blu-ray.
Right? Because as I was looking into it, they said that there was supposed to be the scene where they go into the map with the Wraith. There was supposed to be the dream sequence that Jimmy Olsen experiences, and there was a couple more scenes with Snails and the dwarf. Oh, like during the battle in the Thieves Guild, the dwarf's helmet was supposed to get knocked off, and he was supposed to go into berserker mode.
Oh, yes, because that would have end up making more sense if it happened twice.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there was like a lot of missed scenes that they couldn't fit into the movie, but for budgetary reasons, and that's why it got left out. Also, one of the creators for D&D was actually one of the mages in the movie.
Very cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of callbacks. This is how you know the Courtney just loved these movies.
Right.
This movie, making this movie. But yeah, so that's why I know, if I had told Kobe that before, he would go to Blu-ray.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm definitely easy Blu-ray for me. I enjoy this movie, and it's family friendly.
Absolutely, yeah. Very clean.
And I feel like if you got kids and you have sucked them into the Nerd King fandom,
right?
Yeah, a total easy watch with the family.
Yeah, and kids would not care about the dragons are
right.
Animated.
Well, they're gonna laugh at it.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. If you guys go ahead and check down below, all of our links are down there. You guys are gonna shop anyway, so if you guys want to help us out, go ahead and click those links.
Yeah, you don't have to buy what we're selling, but if you click those links on your way into Amazon, it still gives us credit for sending you there.
Right.
And we definitely any comments, likes, shares, tell us what we do well, what we do poorly. We always want to improve.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. My name is Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on the Music for Podcast 3 album, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.